Amman and photographing in the museum there. In the same letter, Allegro tried to persuade Cross to appear in the program. After consulting with De Vaux, Cross refused. By now, the penny had pretty much dropped for Allegro, and he knew precisely where he stood in relation to his former colleagues. On the same day that he wrote to Cross, he had also written to another scholar, a man who was not officially a member of the international team, but had been allowed to work with the scrolls. Allegro repeated the account of his contretemps, and then added that he was starting a campaign very quietly, for the moment, to get the scrollery clique broken up and new blood injected, with the idea of getting some of the stuff Milik, Strugnell and Starkey are sitting on published quickly in provisional form. 2 months later, on 24 December 1957, he wrote to the same scholar saying that he was worried from the way the publication of the fragments is being planned. The non-Catholic members of the team are being removed as quickly as possible. In fact, so vast is Milik's, Starkey's and Strugnell's lots of 4QK for material. I believe that they should be split up immediately and new scholars brought in to get the stuff out quickly. A dangerous situation is fast developing where the original idea of an international and interdenominational editing group is being bypassed. All fragments are brought first to DV or Milik, and as with Cave 11, complete secrecy is kept over what they are still long after they have been studied by this group. This report is extremely disquieting. Scholars outside the international team have suspected that some form of monitoring and selection was taking place. Here Allegro confirms these suspicions. One can only wonder what might have happened to any fragment that held doctrines opposed to that of the Church. Allegro then outlined his own plan, part of which involved inviting scholars who can spare 6 months or a year at least to come to Jerusalem and take their place in the team. I believe that a rule should be laid down that preliminary publications must be made immediately the document is collected as far as it seems possible, and that a steady stream of these publications should be made in one journal. This business of holding up publication of fragments merely to avoid the deflowering of the final volume seems to me most unscholarly, as is the business of keeping competent scholars away from the fragments. There was perhaps good reason when we were in the first stages of collecting the pieces. But now that most of this work is done, anybody can work.